Hi, my name is Michael Nguyen. I'm the host of the asiansuccessmagazine.com, where successful entrepreneurs show you how they build their companies and achieve success. I have one little secret to share with the audience today. One of my favorite pastry at Costco is the petite palmiers. Right here, I have the little one right here. Um, yeah, and little did I know that behind this delicious palmiers is an inspirational story of a man who is the founder and CEO of Sugar Bowl Bakery, which made all sort of pastry to Costco, Safeway, Walgreens, and international resellers. And back in 1979, on his fourth attempt to flee the war in Vietnam, his boat, along with 140 people, was literally attacked by pirates. But finally, he and his family made to the U.S. South and safe. And today, he built one of the most successful company in the Bay Area. And that man, is Andrew Lee over here. Uh, Andrew has been voted the most admired CEO in the Bay Area back in 2008 and has won many honorable awards such as the U.S. House SBA Small Business of the Year and 2010 California State Capitol Assembly Asian Heritage Award, and even more impressively, he and his story have been mentioned by President Obama on his trip to San Francisco, Chinatown back in November of 2013. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
How do you feel when President Obama cited your name and your success story at the meeting?
It was elated. It was incredible, elated for me to hear him mentioning our name and our family's story when he talked about immigration reform in San Francisco.
Gotcha. You feel excited or some sort of proud about what you did?
Well, it's certainly that was pretty impressive for the president to pick our story and mention to the audience, and it's pretty lengthy too. So I was pretty proud of what not only me but the family and all of our employees who helped to build the company alongside with me.
Can you share with the audience a little bit how you grew up in Vietnam in the middle of the war, and so that my audience can understand more about your background and your multiple attempts to flee the country?
Yeah, I was born in this very poor family in Vietnam, in Bạc Liêu, in the Mekong Delta. We grew up there, five brothers, one sister. My parents were farmers, and we lived in a very small village. So we grew up there. During the daytime, the army came out, and during the nighttime, the evening, the Vietcong came out. So we were like a creature between two paths. And when we grew up, there were a lot of fighting in Vietnam. Also, you see Agent Orange in front of you. And so we back in 1975, after the South Vietnam fell to the communists, um, uh, we were looking for the way to get out of Vietnam because we thought there was no hope to build a better future. So in 1978, twice time was I did not get away with three times I failed. So the fourth time we built a boat with a fan, and then in Top Gun we we got out together to Malaysia in 1979. And so in August 1979, I came to the United States as a refugee and arrived in San Francisco. I did not have any money, not speak English, was very poor, so I came to the United States in 1999.
Can you describe the moment when the boat was attacked by pirates?
Well, not only one time. During the journey, 6 days and 7 nights on the Pacific Ocean, we met the Thai pirates. The first time, they were literally taking everything away from us, except some food and some clothing. And then the second time, the second group of pirates met us. They tried to attack us, and they couldn't find anything, so they let us go. The third time, we met another group, and at that time, we had literally nothing but some American dollars. They didn't even know what that was, so they throw everything away on the ocean. And so at the time we arrived in Malaysia, we didn't have anything, but luckily that they did not harm our people. So we were safe. That was the purpose we wanted to look for. So we were safe. So we arrived in Malaysia after 6 days and 7 nights.
Wow, I didn't know that that the boat and the people were attacked by pirates multiple times, not just once.
Three times. When we arrived in Malaysia, they didn't allow us to get in. They turned us away towards the ocean. On that time, at that time, we saw so many people die on the ocean on that time, and those Vietnamese refugees who came earlier and turned away, and their boat capsized. And so we got so scared. We tried to get into another city. They turned us away. They did not allow us to get in. And then so we came back to halfway at the original point that we tried to get in. And then we destroyed our boat, and everyone swam in. And our boat, at that time, there was a delegation of a reporter called Far Eastern Economic Review in Asia. When there, they hunt for news, and they met us, so they protect us from Malaysian villagers who at that time wanted to rob us as well. But luckily that the reporters protected us, and they took a picture, they posted on the magazine at that time. And so we stayed there for another 2 nights. We did not have anything to eat. And when the International Red Cross at the time came to pick us up to a temporary refugee camp, I had the best dinner in my lifetime. It was instant noodle soup. That was so good because, I was so hungry at the time.
Oh boy. So so several months later, you and your family landed in San Francisco in August, right? In August of 1979.
Right. So after the temporary refugee camp, we went to a permanent refugee camp called Pulau Bidang in Malaysia, and it was only a small island, and we had 54,000 Vietnamese refugees there. Literally, it's a lot of people, small land, nothing to do, a lot of health conditions was not good. So I stayed there for 9 months before I came to San Francisco in August 1979.
Oh boy. Describe your life when you and your family just came to San Francisco. How was life?
It was cold. I had a brother who came earlier than me, a few months earlier than me. That night I was, I tried to make a phone call to my brothers. I didn't have any money. And then there was a lady Asian lady who stood near the payphone. She offered to make that phone call for me to my brothers who came earlier. So he went to the airport and picked us up with my parents, and we came to San Francisco in the worst neighborhood called Tenderloin. Was a lot of crime, a lot of prostitution. So we lived there for a couple of months. 8 people live in a small apartment, one bedroom, one bath, and we lived there for many months. Uh, we went to Goodwill. We bought secondhand clothes, and I wear those clothes for literally for about 10 years. It was very poor. I was very poor.
How did you manage to earn your associate degree in computer information science in just a few years? When you mentioned earlier that you didn't know anything about English or even a single words. I'm curious.
When I was very young, I love to read. I read a lot of books, and my passion was reading, and that reading helped me a lot. So I focused into when I came to the United States. I went to ESL school called English as a second language. So I went to school all day, try to pick up the language, try to practice myself speaking English in front of the mirror, try to communicate with people. And that's all, I went to ESL school, and then after 1 year, I went to City College of San Francisco, and I decided to major in computer information system. And that, our people from Vietnam, usually when you are so poor, you don't take things for granted. And you try hard, you try to focus, you try to be disciplined. And that was what I did at the time. So I try literally every single way just to try to make myself um, available for study at all costs. So I got 3 years degree from City College of San Francisco. I had a friend who also graduated at the same time. He also went to San Francisco State University. So he asked me to join him to go to San Francisco State University. I went to I transferred to San Francisco State University for another 2 years and majored in financial accounting. And you know what? The people, Asian people, especially from Vietnam, we are very, very good with math and technologies and, technical skills. So we focus, we study hard, and then so I got a degree after 2 years with San Francisco State University. So after 5 years, I arrived here. I got my 2 degrees, one from San Francisco State University, one from City College of San Francisco.
You work at the same time that you study, and how about your other brothers? Did they go to school with you?
Most of them went to ESL school, but some of them had family at the time. I was single at the time, so I had the apprentice start. I was single, so I went to school all day. They had family, so they had to go and do some art jobs and to work some. Their wife had to go do some things, be a seamstress to try to try to make a living, try to get some money. And some of them went to work, art jobs. And one of my brothers tried to make donuts in the home kitchen. And at night, I helped him out.
I see. I know that you mentioned that you had very high disciplines. In the midst of the bad neighborhoods and the poor life, what did you do to follow through with your dream of getting education and get to learn the language? How did you overcome those difficulties in life in order to follow through with your dream and just to integrate into society?
The purpose of coming here was to number one, to make a good living. Number two is to be free. And so at that time, we know that we can here then there was no goal on the sheet that we could take, but we know that if we work hard, we be disciplined, then we can possibly make a great living. So that time was to try to make sure that we get education so we can assimilate into a society. So we had to look for the way to work. So there was nothing can substitute for hard work at the time. That I knew that hard work would um, enable us to make a living. So my dream at the time was to get education to work hard. And after that, opportunity came to us. That was, a little rough there. So we captured that opportunity to buy a small bakery at the time and try to make a good living. And then we knew that by working hard, being disciplined, saving our money, and not only that, don't waste our money and make sure that our money will make money for us. So that's what our discipline was at the time. So we tried to all of those. Then we started our journey, life journey in this country by doing that.
Now, at that time, all of your family members were in San Francisco, or some of them were still in Vietnam.
Uh, two of them at the time I came here. One of them went to Texas, Longview, Texas, to work in the bomb manufacturing, and then he came to San Francisco 1 year later after I come. Two of them were still in Malaysia in the refugee camp. After I came here, I tried to sponsor them to come to the United States. So their family came to the United States after 2 years I came here.
Gotcha. Now, I know that back in the 80s, there were a lot of things going on in San Francisco, from the development boom with many high skyscrapers were built, and a large number of homeless people in the cities, and also the Loma Prieta earthquake in '89. How was the family doing at that time? And a lot of things going on at that time.
Well, we started our company in 1984. And yeah, there were so many, homeless people, and so many people, had, not, had great jobs. So many people didn't have a good job, but we try not to compare ourselves with others, because I know that if you compare yourself with others, you will be in vain, because there will always be someone greater than yourself or someone lesser than yourself. So we only mind our own business. We only try to work hard, trying to make sure that we make a great living for our families, and try to make sure that we take care of ourselves.
What's special about Sugar Bowl that you and your family decided to invest in it?
So at the time, we bought a small coffee shop called Sugar Bowl Bakery back in 1984. It was only a coffee shop, $300 sales a day. Okay. And then my brothers knew how to make some donuts, so he made donuts. And another brothers of mine knew how to make how to cook some of the Vietnamese food. So we set up an area to serve Vietnamese food, and then I tried to build alongside with them was to build a wholesale division. We deliver donuts to 7-Elevens, to some other coffee shops, to Vietnamese communities, to Chinese community grocery stores. And so we had all kinds of things going on at the time. And then after we saved some money, we tried to expand and expand. Our philosophy at the time was, today you want to do better than yesterday. Okay, we got it. So improvement is the moving target for us. Every time you do something, you make sure that you do better than you did yesterday.
Well, first of all, let's share a little bit about how Sugar Bowl Bakery doing this year as far as revenue wide, and can share with the audience a little bit about that.
Well, Sugar Bowl Bakery at the time, we right now we have more than $50 million sales, about between 50 to $60 million sales. We employ about uh, total about 300 people working for us. 200, some of them are our employees. About 100 of them are temporary workers. We have two manufacturing plants, about 120,000 square foot. We have, we can make about 2 million pieces of mandelize a day. About a million pieces of the palm that you just show me, the package you just show me a day. So our products are in about 11 countries. We serve Costco, Safeway, 25 biggest retailers in the country. We have our products in Mexico, some part of Asia, and the products are in about 8 to 10,000 stores internationally.
Between 84 and 93, before you became the CEO of Sugar Bowl Bakery, can you share with us in that period how was Sugar Bowl Bakery doing at that time? What happened that time? How you grow from just a small coffee shop, and you said that your brother cooked some Vietnamese food served in that coffee shop. How do you grow in that period of time from 84 to 93?
So from 84, we bought a small coffee shop, $300 sales a day. We grew that to 7 locations. At that time, my intention was Starbucks with food, so we first sell coffee, pastries, and then we have Vietnamese food aside. So at that time, we go to 7 locations. We bought a few buildings, and then my brothers mostly managed more the retail locations, and then I grew up called pharmacy. That means make products. We have a big plant that we make donuts, Danish croissants, muffins that we sold to the hotel industry in the Bay Area. So we grew very nicely every year. We had one objective is either we acquire big customers or we buy a building or we open up a new store. So we grew very nicely from 84 to 93. So I worked alongside with that. I became a CEO of Sugar Bowl Bakery because back in 1993, we incorporated to become a corporation. Before 1993, it was a partnership. So even though was not a CEO of the brothers involved in that, but I took the lead to make sure that we grew the company within the family. Okay. So my brothers are still involved in business, but I took the lead because I speak English well. I have education from here, and I love to go to network. I love to go and give speech. I love to social events. I love to sit on the board of some community foundations so I can we can serve the underserved people. So that's how my passion is, and that's how I am kind of like a leader in the company.
Can you like zoom in a little bit at that time when you said the time when you purchased the Sugar Bakery coffee shop? It was you mentioned the sales was only about $300 per day. How do you grow it to a point where the company can or your family can actually sustain all the costs and make a living and sort of break even and become profitable?
Well, $300 sales a day at the time, and then we know that the best way to make money is to save. Okay, let me give you one example that in order for you to make $100, okay, you have to go out there and sell, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 just to make $100, and then you have to do a lot of work. But by saving $100, you don't have to do anything else, right? That goes to your bottom line. So, so the discipline was not only that we make some sales, but we try to save, and we don't waste our money. So all the saving we had, we went on to buy a second location, okay, and then we expand to a second location. And so at one point, I just told you earlier that our objective is to open up a new locations every year, having a big customers every year, or make more money every year. So improvement was a moving target for us at the time. Now still improvement is a moving target because every day you want to do better than yesterday.
Can you show or share with the audience? I know that, so from you, I can understand your philosophy of keeping the company lean and your mentality of saving. Can you share with the audience some of the tips that you use to save, in your case, so saving extra $100, or when the company that the scale of the company at that time, but now you have a bigger company. What are some of the key? I guess the same principles still apply. Am I right?
Exactly. Regardless, you're small, you're big, or you're wealthy, or you're poor. If you have the discipline of, every day you don't waste your time, or every day you don't waste your money. Okay. Not only that, if you don't waste your money, and you get those money that you save to make money for you. Okay. Then that's the difference between you and the other guy is, let's say you have a friend who take 3 vacations a year. Okay. And then you take only one. And 10 years later, your friend may be still poor because he is already take all his vacation. But by saving your vacation from taking this year, and then those money that you save can generate 8% of your return every year, 10 years later, you can take many vacations that nobody can take because you save money today, and then your money make the money along the way until 10 years from now, then you are a lot richer, right? So that's what it is. Regardless, you are rich, you are poor, you have money, you have to save. Not only that, your saving should make money for you. The other guy, the people who are on Wall Street, they have so much money because their money is making money for them. Not only that, they go out there and they work for a living. Okay, some people just go to work for a living. Some people work for a living and they save. Some people work for a living and they save, and their saving is making a living for them as well. Okay, so the saving actually generate a lot of wealth for people. So my advice to you today is don't waste your time today. If you waste 1 hour today, you may have to spend 3 hours in the future just to make it up. If you waste $1 today, you may have to spend a lot of time to make $3 in the future to make up $1 you waste today. So when you are younger, a lot easier for you to make money. When you get older, it's a lot more difficult for you to make the same money that you make today. Is that clear?
So besides saving as your principal foundation, what are some of the tactics that you successfully used to grow Sugar Bowl at that time?
Well, our philosophy is number one is to work hard, be disciplined, to treat people well. Okay, you cannot go if you have a company, you cannot work everything yourself. You have to treat people well because when you have employees, you have the right employees. Let me tell you this: you have to have the right employees. Right? if you have the right employees, you have to treat them well. You treat them like partners so they can, in turn, to treat your customer well. Okay. The best way to defeat your competition is to make sure that you make your customers successful, right? So your customers are happy, they will always be loyal to you. And if you make your employees happy, your employees will work harder for you, loyal to you, and they will be your partners. And alongside, they can build your company alongside with you. Okay. Now, if you don't have a right employee, right, then you have to make sure that you make a decision early, because if you don't have the right employees, they can make you vulnerable because they won't build well with you, but they will keep on wasting your time and your resources, right? Now, let me give you one example. It's like you go to buy a store and buy a pair of shoes, and that pair of shoes is very, 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 high quality, brand name, look great, and the price is so good. But when you put into your feet, right, you wear them and they keep on hurting your foot. What do? You have to return that pair of shoes to the store, right? And then let somebody else pick it up. It's just like employees, if they don't fit into your company, right, they will keep on hurting you. If you make a decision early and let them work for somebody else, maybe they will fit into different organizations, right? And then you hire the right employees to fit into your company, and then you treat them well. They'll work alongside with you to build your company with you.
What are some of the way that your company do to find the right people, the right employees?
Well, the right employees is you must have a good HR department. Okay. If you don't have a good HR department, then you have to hire the HR professional to help you to screen employees. The number one thing is you have to hire a great personality person, a great character, people who are honest, who are upfront. Okay. You hire employees, it's not all about the skill. Okay. You hire employees, there's a saying, hire character and train for skill. Okay. If you get a great character person, okay, they don't have a lot of skill, but you can train them, right? Skill can be trained, but character you cannot give it to them, right? So, Michael, you have great working hard, but you have great character, right? But I can talk with you, I can see that, and then if you talk with somebody else, you can see from the way you talk with them. If they don't have a good characters, even if you train them a good skill, they cannot maintain that skill because the character will destroy them. Now there's a saying called good personality will open the door, but great character will keep the door open, right?
Were you personally involved in hiring anybody, or at that time, or back then when the company was still young?
Oh, back then the company was young. Yes, I hired a lot of people. Majority of them are good because I can tell, and then I hire them. I treat them well. They stay. Some of them, stay with me for more than 20 years. And yeah, and I made mistakes here and there. I hired, a couple of people who were not very, very, very good, and because I was very soft-hearted, right? I didn't let them go. I tried to train them, and I waste a lot of time. And then eventually, I have to let them go. Then, we have a lot of difficulties. Okay, so from my experiences, if you at the moment you identify the employees is not fit for you, right? Then you have to make a decision. You don't want to drag on for too long. If you drag on for too long, yeah, then it's not healthy for both sides. It's not good for employees and not good for you.
So do you use your gut feeling to make decision, or you give them maybe some time to develop, or just some time to see how they do?
Uh, sometimes, if a person cannot change, they won't change. My gut feeling at the time, I make a lot of gut feeling, but that's not a great policy. Okay. So here, this country is all about legality. Okay. Everything is legal. Sometimes you have a very good heart with that person. It doesn't mean that it's legal. Okay. So the best way is to have the professional to help you out to make sure that they screen a good employees. And then when you bring them in, try to make sure that you treat them well. And if sometimes you make mistake, and if it's not right for you, you have to make a decision right away. If you drag on for too long, then it will hurt both sides.
You share with the audience some of your working principle to keep your employee long. You said you share that someone that you brought in earlier stay with you for over 20 years.
There are quite a few. Yeah, there are quite a few. Number one, you have to have a very, very good culture of the company. Open door, treat them right. Make sure that you when you make money, you are not greedy. You have to make sure that they get a fair bonus for it. Great working environment. No micromanage them. Allow them to make some decisions. If they make mistakes, then we want to discuss with them. And then make sure that when they be upfront with them, be honest, be upfront, be realistic, and often you have to have weekly meeting with your top key employees that you want to hire as top team. Make sure that communication is very effective. So everything that we do is communication. That's the key to becoming making employees happy.
So nowadays, are all of your brothers are still working with you, or you are the main person at the company?
Well, my brothers are involved in the board level, but I run the show for a long time.
Gotcha. I'm curious, what are some of the marketing tactics that you use to grow the company from time to time, from the time when before you took over as CEO, and then after you became the CEO? What are some of the marketing tactics that work for you?
Oh, marketing is, we don't do a lot of marketing. The most important thing of all in running a company is make sure you treat your customer right. You have a great integrity, for your company and for yourself. All customers, big, large, small, medium, they want to buy your product. But if you don't have a good integrity for your company or yourself, they probably don't want to do business with those people. Right? So Warren Buffett says, success comes and goes. Integrity is forever. Okay. The richest man in Asia, Lee Ka-shing, said, uh, a great reputation for yourself and your company is an invaluable asset that is not reflected in your balance sheet. Okay. But you have to have that and have great quality product. Everyone go to the store, buy the first products they want to try because the products look good, cost reasonable, but you and I or everyone else come to the store and look for a specific products to buy because of the quality. So make sure that your product has great quality and great value. So those are my my personal philosophy about penetrating new accounts or serving the customer well or selling our products well.
You share one example that illustrates your points about integrity, and I know that you have great products, okay, and I love eating the palmiers. Talk about integrity. What are some of the example that you treat them with high integrity and respect?
Well, uh, say what you mean and do what you say. Never lie to a customer. Never lie to anyone. Okay. Make sure that you are very, very upfront. You know what you are doing, right? So you know that you compete with a lot of different competitors out there because one any one of our customers can talk with hundred of different vendors every day, right? So we have to know that what we want. Okay. So we what we do is when we present a product to a customer, you don't need a customer to come back to you and negotiate the price or ask you say, oh, you know what, this is it's not high quality. You have to make the best product at the best value, right, and present to a customer in the right moment. So always say what you mean and do what you say.
Very good. At what point you decided to become a supplier for Costco and Safeway?
Well, about 14 years ago, again, and let me tell you this, our philosophy was improvement was moving target. Even though we grew very nicely in the hotels and hospitals and food service industry in the Bay Area, we opened up more stores. I wanted more. So at the time, we already became the biggest in the Bay Area, in San Francisco Bay Area. So we wanted more. So we knocked on the Costco store, Safeway store, try to see, if they wanted to buy a product. So at one time, Costco decided to test one of our products, and they love our product. So we sold our products pretty well. So we know that for us to have a national footprint, we have to make sure that we simplified our operation. So back in the year 2000, we decided to sell more products to a retail store like Safeway and Costco. At the same time, we had the food service division in the Bay Area. Okay, so for us at the time to manage two divisions with retail locations and with national account like Costco and Safeway, it was pretty difficult. Okay, so we didn't want to be everything that for everyone or do very very so to a lot of people. So we want to do the best of what we need to do, or we would like to be the best of one thing that we do. So we decided to sell all of our retail locations, the food service division in the Bay Area. We sold that. And then we decided to go to a national footprint by going to Costco nationally, internationally, Safeway nationally. We went on to Target, Walgreens, and so on and so on. So that's how we make decisions. So we would rather want to be the agent of change. We change it by ourselves instead of we wait for people to tell us you have to make a change.
So you said that you sold other non-related business like the food service and stuff to
Yeah,
really focus on manufacturing, become a manufacturer.
exactly. Right.
Oh, okay. So at that time, how did you acquire your experience and knowledge? Or also, I know that manufacturers ring is a capital intensive business. How did you get the fund to really uh, um, manufacture with the high volumes, lots of volume for Costco and Safeway?
Well, we learn along the way. I went to a lot of networking events, and I met people, I talked with people. we hired some key personnel. So people came in, people taught us what to do, and we talked with our customers, and some of our customers, we knew what they were looking for. So along the way, we learned for a long, long time. We have been in business for 30 years, and then I go to a lot of networking events. So that's learning one thing, then read a lot of publications, talk with customers, and hire key personnel in to help us, and so we could make a change, and then we could make things better, and or improve every day. So right now, our company actually is one of the top bakery manufacturing in the country, because we're SQF level 3 audit. We got 98 score, 98 over 100. If you ask all of the bakery that you talk with to see how many of them get the SQF audit, that means SQF, that means a safe quality food audit. Okay, not too many. Only top companies have that. But we hire some key personnel. We treat them well. We make sure that they are happy to be here with us, and they help us along the way. We work with our banking, financial institutions. Again, your integrity. What you say, what you mean. You do what you say. You create trust with your financial institutions, so you can get some money from them, more and more support from them to buy equipment, to finance equipment, and then you have to make sure that you are disciplined. And, that is the integrity that you have to gain the trust of your customers, your vendors, your employees, and your vendors.
What were some of the costly mistakes that you made at that time when you transition become, you really focusing on manufacturing? What were some of the costly mistakes that you and your company made?
The costly mistake, what we have, we make mistakes here and there, small, but there are no major mistakes that we make, because when we make a mistake, we know it right away. We make the change right away. The reason that I don't make a lot of mistakes, because I listen. Okay, I know that I'm not that. Um, even my lowest level of my employees come to me and say something that's reasonable. I love to listen to it. Okay, so the most costly mistake I made during my career as a CEO of the company is hire someone that didn't fit and keep him for too long.
Gotcha. How would you quantify that mistake? How much would it cost you for?
Uh, it cost me 6 months to get all the legal process done, and a couple $100,000.
Wow. Interesting. Now, you have a very, very interesting background in the past. Like, for example, you have witnessed the brutality of war, life, and death. How do those experiences help you in expanding Sugar Bowl Bakery and dealing with challenges?
Well, certainly you know that life is very, very precious. Okay, it's very important. Um, you see, you have to treat people well, because you don't want yourself to be in that situation. So you have a better sense of loving people. You in order for for me to witness all of those things that happening, we know that it was bad things to do. So my philosophy is the best is listen to people, talk with people, try to understand people. The worst, conflict okay, in the human history. It's not because of one side is wrong and one side is right. But the worst conflict of the human history is both sides are right and they don't know how to get to the common ground and solve the problem. Okay, let me tell you this. Back in our Vietnam War, the North thought they were right, and they were right. The South thought they were right, and they were right because they love to have, the Vietnamese to be free. But the problem is they couldn't talk in the common ground. They had to fight, right? So in this country, the same. The Republicans love their country. The Democrats love their country. The Republicans have the different way of want the country to go one way. The Democrats love the country. They want the country to go a different way. Right? Both love their country, but sometimes they just couldn't find a common ground to make sure that the two right are in the middle, right? So they have to sometimes they have stalemate, and that's the way I see it. I see that okay, you know what? We just have to sit down, listen, communicate, and then let's see how to get it right at the moment to solve the problem.
Let's give one example in business when for let's say for Sugar Bowl Bakery, how do some of that the experience that you had, or maybe resolve the conflicts and the differences and use communication to talk. What are some of the examples?
Well, the example is I have 4 brothers, and you know that 5 of us are different, and 4 of them have 4 different ideas, right? And then I had my idea, and I kept doing the right things all the time. But even though I know that I'm right, right? Sometimes I have to make sure that I listen to them, right? And I convince them, hey, you know what? You are right, but at this moment here, this is the better way to do things, right? So we kept on doing that, and doing the right thing all the time is very very difficult. But if you keep on doing the right thing all the time, you will always right? So keep on doing the right things all the time. Sometimes you have very, very heated exchange, like argue, right? You have to make sure that you walk away from your argument and you come back and you say, you know what, this is the right thing to do. And then you do it. You prove it that this is the right thing to do. And that's how you get things done.
How do those experiences help you in your personal life besides work at the companies?
Well, you have to regret it. I have a very loving wife. I have 2 great sons, and even though my sons don't want to be in the business, they want to be doctors. Fine, that's the way I listen to them. Okay, I don't force them to do what they don't want to do. I cannot get the best out of them by forcing them to do something they don't want to do. Correct? So I have great family. I have a very, very good, family. And I have, great brothers, and I have great employees. So my personal life is very rewarding, even though I work hard, But I can see that.
Do you consider yourself successful? And what does success mean to you?
Well, success is a journey, not a destination. I don't consider myself successful. I consider myself lucky. I am in the position here because my people work very hard for this company, and I am lucky to be in the position that I am right now. But I will keep on working hard, and that is success is a journey, not a destination.
Success is a journey.
Right.
Awesome. How do you want to be remembered, Andrew?
ordinary guys, good heart, very, very, friendly to people. I love to do some more community work if I have, a choice. I think there will be a lot of people like, the elderly, the disadvantaged women, underprivileged kids, those people, a lot of people are still out there, especially our Asian people. Uh, you come to this country very poor, can get a very, very good paying job. Some of them can speak the language well. I think there are a lot of things that we can do together to enhance the quality of life of all of our Asian people in this country.
And guys, I'm thankful that Andrew is here today and share with you one of his primary principle, which is integrity. He's using that to not only build his success, but also find peace in life, and he's enjoyed his life a lot. Andrew, I'd like to thank you for your generosity to appear on Asian Success Show today, and hopefully I can come to San Francisco someday to visit your office, and you can show me your plant.
Yeah, if you come to San Francisco, give me a call, email me. We can get together. That's for sure. Hey, thank you very much for having me on the show. You do a good job. I love to see people like yourself becoming successful. Take, take your, determine your own journey, and don't let people tell you what to do, but you do the right thing every single day for yourself. That is the most important thing.
I really appreciate your help.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys.
Okay, Michael. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Take care. Okay, bye.